And we are live. Thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Angela Odur, Director of Community Engagement at Ushahidi, and today we are here with a few members of the Ushahidi team to get you in sync with SMS Sync. So I'll just hand it over to everybody else to introduce themselves before we jump into a few ground rules and the agenda for the day. So why don't we start off with Henry?
Okay, I'm a dev at Ushahidi and I lead the SMS Sync project. I've been the guy in the background and been developing and fixing bugs with other volunteers on the project. And we've been doing this for quite a while. And this is our first community engagement, so we are really excited to hear what you guys have to say and looking forward to further discussion on this.
Good stuff. Thank you, Henry. Michelle?
Hey everyone, I'm Michelle Hamilton-Page and I'm working with the team here on comms. I'll be taking your questions, making sure that Henry gets them and the rest of the team get them, and doing as much live tweeting as possible. So welcome, thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks Michelle. Sebastian?
Hi everyone, I'm Sebastian Mitchell. I run the solutions team, which is the consulting unit at Ushahidi, and I'm coming to you from the Batcave. In fact, there's Angela right there. So, yeah, I just joined because I'm interested in hearing what's happening with all of our products, so looking forward to it.
All right, so thanks once again. Thank you for joining us and for watching in. So the idea is we're going to have Henry just take us through a little historical background into what SMS Sync is all about, how it's evolved over time, show us a few examples of how community members like yourselves have been contributing and doing good stuff with it, and then we can jump into Q&A. And the way we want to run the Q&A is you can either tweet us at Ushahidi and use the hashtag SMS Sync, or you can go onto the event page and post your questions over there, and we'll try as best as we can to answer any questions that you have. Right, and without much further ado, I will now hand it over to Henry to take the floor and tell us more about SMS Sync. Henry, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Angela. So SMS Sync is a tiny Android app. I call it tiny, but it does a lot of stuff. It's an Android application that tries to turn your Android phone into an SMS gateway. In that, it empowers you to have like a local number, and then you can hook that local number to a web service, so you can send and receive SMSs on your web service, so that you can engage with your users via SMS without having to worry about setting up huge SMS gateway and paying for exorbitant SMS gateway service providers. You don't want to pay a lot of money for them, but the app allows you to quickly use like an Android phone to quickly get up and running and get it going. So this project has been running for a while. It was a feature in one of our products, and we decided to make it a standalone so we can add extra features to it to make it easier for people to actually contribute to it and also to evolve it than we initially thought of doing. And so far we've seen tremendous contributions from our community and has received quite a number of downloads, which is quite interesting, which we'd love to share with you and to figure out how we can plug you guys into contributing to the project, because this is mainly run by one person and occasional contributors here and there. And we haven't had the opportunity to actually engage with the community yet to see how they can plug in. But in terms of how you can engage with us, there are a couple of channels you can help with when it comes to contribution. You can contribute by writing code, which will be really happy. Aside too, if you can help us improve our existing documentations, and also giving us feedback if you have used the application before and you wish it had behaved in a certain way, or you wish it is behaving in a certain way you wish to communicate to us, we are happy to hear all about that. And if you have a feature request that you wish could be implemented into the application, we are here to listen and see how we can actually fit that into the existing feature. Aside that too, you can help us with translation. We have a couple of translations going on right now. We only have like German, Indonesian, and Japanese almost fully translated. It's 99%. And the 1% is because I pushed an update today and the English string went one up higher than them. So another way of helping is us is translating some of the strings to your local language. If you want to see it translated into your local language, would be much appreciated. Aside that too, you can write plugins for existing SMS gateway providers, so SMSSync can be supported. There have been initiatives that have happened around the community in regard to that. There's a guy who wrote a Drupal plugin for SMSSync, so you can actually install it on your Drupal website, and then you can have SMSSync up and running, so you can send and receive text messages with your Drupal installation. And then the folks at Play SMS made an integration for SMSSync as well. So if you use the Play SMS web gateway, you can be able to use SMSSync to send and receive SMS for your Play SMS instance. So you don't have to actually start from scratch. You can just take what you've already done. There's a Django module for it as well. So if you have like a Django web service and you want to do SMS with that, you can actually use that. And I would like to take this opportunity to actually run a demo of the application for those of you who haven't actually seen it in action, and this is your first time hearing about it. So I'm going to share my screen with you with the demo app running. So right now I'm sharing the latest code that I've been working on. So pardon me if it crashes here and there because it's quite a bit unstable, but I'm happy to share that with you. So this is the pending interface. This is where all failed messages that were not able to be sent to the web service get listed here, so you can actually manage them. You can either manually sync them or they can be automatically synced to the web service. So once you have the application installed, what you do is you quickly go to sync URL and then you add a new sync URL to it. So you give it a title. And then if your web service supports secret key, you can enter. This is optional, but it's advisable to set secret key on your web service so it's a bit secure. And then filter messages by keyword by using a CSV, so comma separated values, or you can add complex regular expressions in the field, and then SMSSync will try and pass that expression and filter all messages that matches the regular expressions. And this is where you actually enter the sync URL. And once you're done, you add, you enable, and then you start a service. Android has a security feature in controlling SMS applications on the Android platform itself. So in order for SMSSync to be able to actually like read and write from the messaging inbox, you need to make it a default SMS app. So if you click yes, then you can start your service, and then you get a prompt indicating that the service is running. And then once you're done, you can share the phone number on your web service or on your website, and then people can start texting to that phone number. And once they text the message to the phone number, SMSSync is going to do the synchronization in the background. In case something happens and it fails, let's say the web server is down or there's no internet on SMSSync phone, the message can be listed here so you can see all the failed messages as an administrator. On the other hand, you can go to settings and then you can configure it so it can automatically send the failed messages at periodic intervals. Or you can manually do that on the pending messages screen. It has like a sync button that will manually do that for you when you sync, and you get a statistics of the status of the synchronization. So to tell you how many messages actually went through, how many failed, and how many are still like pending and all that stuff. But SMSSync comes with huge, a lot of configurations that you go through. Some are optionals, most of them are, and others are required. But the main, so the unique field here is for identifying a particular device that is running SMSSync. So in case you want to do interesting identifications of which phone is running which SMSSync app, you should be able to identify which one you are using. So you can enter a unique ID for the device here. And then you can automatically search which messages to delete in case once it's received the message from the messages inbox, so the messaging inbox doesn't get full. So you can still auto delete messages once the phone receives it. And then here too, you can auto delete pending messages. So in case a message fails multiple times and SMSSync is not able to send it to the web server for whatever reason, you can set number of tries SMSSync should attempt at sending the message. Once it hits that trial number, once it hits that, is going to automatically delete that message. So you can set the frequency here. So after 2 trials, if the message is still not getting to the server, delete it. And SMS report, SMS delivery report is a way to get SMS that have been sent to the user's phone in order to know if it has successfully reached the user's phone number or not. The device actually gives you a report on that, and you can actually program it with the web server to be able to know if that message went to the web server or not. So if you enable SMS delivery report, you can get all those details. However, in certain countries, they charge you for this service. So if you're enabling it, be sure you are not enabling it, or you are aware that you're going to be charged for it or not. You should actually check with the local provider on that one. And an alert phone number allows you to actually send alert in case the server goes down and you want to receive an SMS alert. Say on another phone, you can set a number here, and then all these alerts will be sent to it. And then here is the get reply from server. With the get reply from server, you are able to actually send messages, auto responses. When the message comes to SMSSync, you can send auto responses from the server to the user who sends the message. So here you can set it, and then you have to program it on the server side to be able to send that message. But if you're not interested in doing that, you can actually enable reply automatically, which has a can respond here, which you can actually edit. So anytime a message comes to the phone, this message is going to be sent. If you change it, whatever you change it to is going to be sent to the user's phone as an auto response. In it, this serves as a way of acknowledging that the message actually reached SMSSync, and SMSSync is processing it. So if I send a message to the SIM card running SMSSync, I get a response telling me, oh, SMSSync received this message. Then maybe the one who sent the message know that actually SMSSync did acknowledge that it received it. And auto sync frequency is where you are able to automatically sync messages that come to SMSSync that are failed. So here you are able to do that automatically, and it goes. And then task checking is where you actually send a lot of messages. So you can program the web server to queue a lot of messages to SMSSync and send them to users' phone. So you queue with a message and then the phone number, and then SMSSync is going to periodically pull for these messages and is going to push that to the user's phone. And then it has like a message result API. This allows you to actually be able to know messages that have been sent, the status of it, using the SMS delivery report feature. So once you have this enabled and you enable message result API, you are able to programmatically read the status of messages that have been sent to users' phone. You are able to programmatically read that from the server, and then you can process it. So this allows you to avoid duplication. You can queue messages that you know haven't been sent to the user's phone. You can actually queue them again. If you know they've been sent to the user's phone, you don't queue again, so SMSSync don't send duplicated messages back and forth to the users. And the next one is you can get a log of all the sent messages, be SMS, be tags, which are tags being the message that have been sent from the server. You can see all the messages that have been sent here. And then whitelist is where you enable phone numbers, so that any phone number that you, when they send
Hello, Henry? I don't think we can hear you.
how about now?
Yes, now I can hear you. We lost you at the point where you were adding in numbers into the whitelist.
Okay, so whitelists allow you to actually make a phone number be trusted by SMSSync, so that any message that comes through that phone number, SMSSync will process it. Other than that, it's going to discard it. It's the opposite of the blacklist. Blacklist is if you're not interested in setting phone numbers, sending messages to SMSSync, you add these phone numbers here. So any number that comes from this 09986, when SMSSync sees it, SMSSync is going to ignore it in the background, and then actually no messages will be processed by SMSSync with this feature. And then you can get a log of all the activities that have been going on with SMSSync here. So you can see if the device has a data connection, the battery level, and then as SMSSync processes a lot of stuff in the background, it gives you a verbal information about what has been happening. So you can get to know if SMSSync is not able to reach the server, you can get all the HTTP static codes, and then with that you can know exactly what is probably happened to the server. In case the server is hitting a 500 error code, you know that, oh, the server is not reachable by SMSSync, and you can get to know all of that and fix that. So yeah, that's the basic introduction or demo of what the application can do actually. That's like the main power actually lies in the settings, because we try to make the app to run in the background with less human interactions. So you can have it like on the shelf, and then it will automatically like work in the background. And with the alert feature, you're able to send in query keywords, and then it can get you status of the phone. It can tell you if the phone is about to die. It can tell you if it can't reach the server. You get all these things on your phone with the alert phone number that you've set at a certain screen. So I can query on the move. So let's say if the phone is in Kenya and I've traveled to say Accra, I can be able to see if my SMSSync application is still up and running, I can get to know that. If it's not, then I can quickly tell someone to see what is going on. So it's a way of remotely administering the application whilst on the move. So yeah, that is the demo for the application.
All right, that was fantastic. I have one question, and I think this is a question that we tend to get a whole lot from people who are new to SMSSync or have never used it before. Are there any cost implications for anybody who's using SMSSync? Or what are the cost implications of using SMSSync for forwarding SMSs? Are there any additional charges?
Yeah, there aren't additional charges, but there are some charges involved. The charges involves two that I can think of. So as a user, when I say as a user, let's say I'm the one texting to SMSSync. I identify myself as a user. As a user, when I send a text message, I paid my local SMS rate, respective to the provider that I'm using in the current location I'm in. So if I'm in Accra and let's say I'm using MTN, I pay their charges when I send a text message. Those are the charges that are the costs that are involved as a user when I send a message to SMSSync. The other cost that is involved is me being the administrator. The administrator is me who have actually downloaded the application, installed it on an Android phone, and I'm running it with my web service, and I'm trying to get information from my users. So for me, my charges are sending information to my users using SMSSync. So when I send message, it charges me, and it charges me at the local rate of my current location. So if I'm sending messages locally, I pay the local rate. If the messages are going international, I pay international rate based on the provider I'm using. So there are costs involved, but the costs are usually what you pay for regular SMSs with your regular SMS plan with your current provider. Hope that answers your question, Angie.
Yes, it actually does. What I'll do, I'll leave the other questions I may have to the end of the Hangout. But I think one other thing that we really did want to get from you as well is, this is the latest version of SMSSync. How has it evolved over time? What are some of the things that you've shown us today that are new? And what was the thinking behind adding in those new features?
Okay, so the newest feature I've added so far is the when I go to the settings screen, there's a number of retries for pending messages. So before, SMSSync will infinitely try to send these messages to the web server without actually deleting. So to be on this on the phone until someone actually deletes it and go like, this message is not going, so it's just delete it. So this is a feature that I work on for a while because it's quite tricky trying to get the fix for that. But the newest feature so far is this. It allows you to actually send a frequency at which it can run to try and send the message to the server. If that doesn't go through it, once it passed that number of tries, it's just automatically deleted because you've instructed it to do that. And then, of course, I've beautified the UI. I've made it modern in terms of making it fit with the Android L release. So it doesn't look like 1998 kind of UI. So that is still a work in progress. And then a lot of bug fixes as usual that have been reported on the GitHub page. And most of them have been fixed. And we added a donation button because some folks have been asking how they can contribute some cash to the project, but we haven't really enabled them to do that. So we've included a donation button. Once you make a release, you see that where you can actually like purchase a donation and give donation to the project if you're interested in contributing some cash to it. So yeah, that has been that is like the major feature right now I've added to it is the number of tries that SMSSync can actually throttle and then delete the message if that doesn't go through to the cell. That's the highlight of this release actually.
Nice, looking really, really good. So for the people who are either just joining us or have never heard about SMSSync, what are some of the most common use cases that you have seen it being used for, apart from being used to link up Ushahidi deployments or CrabMap deployments with SMS? What are some of the others that you've seen outside that comfort zone?
What I have seen is, so there are a lot of web services that try to provide like an SMS gateway, and they build like plugins to support SMSSync, so people can actually have like a local SMS gateway running at their particular location. So that's one of the uses that I've seen people actually do. They just build on top of SMSSync, and then they use that to support local phone numbers, so people can actually easily use an Android phone and easily download SMSSync and be up and running. And then another use case I have seen is people using it with M-Pesa. So they use it with the PesaPay API. So it's actually like supported by PesaPay, where you can use it to do M-Pesa transactions. I don't know the details. I haven't really followed that much, but what I do know is they use that to get the confirmation messages that is sent by Safaricom, and then they programmatically manipulate those messages here and there. And this PesaPay is being used across the continent. Yeah, I think there's some in Ghana, Cameroon, and I think the main use is in Kenya. And then I've been seeing a couple of users randomly using it, but I don't follow exactly what they do with it. Once they post on the forum, I just respond to them. But yeah, those are the use cases that I've seen so far, apart from shady deployment.
Nice. It would be interesting to see the one with M-Pesa, so I'm guessing we can go and have a look at that in detail afterwards and probably share with our wider audience when we do get that one. Where do you think SMSSync is most useful?
Sorry?
Where do you think SMSSync, the application of SMSSync, is most useful?
I would say mostly developing countries, because a lot of people build SMS-based applications for developing countries. And when I say developing countries, I don't mean Africa alone. I see a lot of people use it in India. Like there are a lot of users in India. I see a request. Like we even saw like someone willing to like patch some code, but it was figuring out they can contribute to the project. So I see a lot of users from there. But as to exactly what they do with it, I don't track it. It's beyond me.
Okay, so this is the point where I guess we're basically putting out a call. If you're someone who actually uses SMSSync out there, we really love to highlight what you're using it for. So feel free to reach out to us, and we'll make sure to get your story out there. I think it's powerful getting to share your stories and see what kind of impact of the tool is having, that it can help other people. Before I open up the floor for questions, there's one other thing. You talked about being a one-man show, but I do know that you get a lot of pull requests and code commits from community members. Where have you seen the biggest contribution coming in from? And is it for plugins, or is it within the main core code base?
Okay, so we had our biggest users contribution last year, and what it is, they entirely build the messaging result API. So it's mostly our biggest contribution is mostly has been code. And if it's okay if I mention names, so obviously I can mention the users who did it. And made it mobile. I know they have like they keep a fork version of our app, and they've been contributing resources here and there occasionally. They've been like contributing code, fixing bugs, and contributing back what they've done into their fork, back into the core project itself, and even try to give us some resources in terms of human capacity. So they built some of the features, like the one I said, the messaging API. They built it. They fixed a couple of bugs. They did all that. So they come in occasionally, they do it, and then they vanish, and then they come in. So it's been like that, on and off, on and off. So mostly that, and translation. I seen that the German translation has been keeping up, and the maintainer has been on top of the job. Like it's always like 100%, 99%, or 98%. It's never below 90%. It's always like up to date. So on that front too, like it's really exciting to see that.
Great stuff. I guess we have about 14 or so minutes, and I think this is the point where we'll open it out to the rest of the people who are watching to see what questions they have. And we already have one from, is it Arthur, who's asking whether it's possible to move the unique ID configuration from a global field into a specific sync server field.
Technically, it's possible. It's just a matter of doing it. But like, what is the use case? Does he have like a use case to back that up? Because that might involve a lot of code changes.
So I guess we'll pose that question to him, and then I'm seeing one from Jagan, who's actually the one who's been maintaining the German translations.
And, I give him a high five.
I definitely will. He wants to know, when are translations normally pulled into the repository, or how frequently do you do that?
That's a good question, actually. It's usually when I see that the translation is 100% and then I pull it, so I keep an eye on it. So with the German translation and Japanese being 99, I'm going to try and get a Japanese to be 100%, and the Indonesian being 100%. It's going to happen in the next release.
All right. I think we have one. No, I don't think we have any other Michelle questions for Henry apart from the ones that we have so far. I don't think she does. All right. I actually had another question on the white label feature. So it wasn't really clear what the difference between what the white labeling feature would do on top of just the normal SMSs coming in. You talked about those sources being trusted. What's the difference between a normal SMS that comes in and a white labeled SMS?
There's no white label SMS. You mean the whitelisted phone numbers?
Whitelisted. Sorry, not white labeled. Whitelisted. Yes, exactly.
Okay. So the so the whitelisted are like phone numbers that SMSSync trust. Any other that comes, nope. So if I list all these white label phone numbers, if I send a text message with that phone number, SMSSync is going to process it. Otherwise, it will ignore.
Okay. All right.
So a typical use case is if let's say you have like these short codes. If you're not interested in some of the messages that they send, you can block them or you can whitelist them. It's like.
Okay, that makes sense. So I'm seeing that we've gotten a shout out from Medic Mobile, who say that they are leveraging SMSing for a new mobile VAS service that they're working on. So yeah, great work. Thank you so much for all your contribution. Sorry, I think I actually made a mistake. That is actually not. This is Mbogwa Njiki.
I think it's
Mbogwa. It's Mbogwa Njiki. Yeah, not Medic Mobile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Were you going to say something, Henry?
Media news.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Google Hangout tells me I muted my mic, but I didn't.
No, you're not on mute. You're fine.
Okay. No, I'm seeing retreat from global media news. So those you wanted to quote them, so I just mentioned it to aid you.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have any other questions from our audience? Anyone? Before I jump onto the next stage before we finish off. We don't see anything on Twitter yet, and we're not seeing anything on the Hangout page. So here's another one. You just put up this release recently. When do we expect to see another release of SMSSync, and what's in the pipeline? What does the roadmap look like for the future?
Okay, so there are a couple of things I worked on in the background. So on the previous release, I broke support for HTTP for older versions running 2.2. I have that fixed, but I haven't pushed the changes. So expect that should be expected to be fixed once I push those changes. And then two, the messages retries feature, the one I explained earlier, being able SMSSync automatically deleting pending messages that refuse to be synced to the server, deleting them once the thresholds is reached, deletes them automatically. So that's another feature. And then two, of course, bump the platform support, so you can actually install, or is officially supported on Android L devices, since it has officially been out in the wild on devices. I bumped that too, and then I added donation button, being able to give donations to the project by doing an in-app purchases. So I just enabled that, testing it. So buying stuff with credit card is tricky, so you got to make sure things are working. So it's still in testing and continually fixing old code, because it has been evolving. The software has actually evolved, so been fixing, removing a lot of old codes and fixing new codes. So there's a lot of internal code changes. If you're a developer and you follow the project, you can see that there's been a lot of database code changes here and there. A lot of the boilerplate code for the database have been removed and replaced with like a well-maintained library. So those are not visible, but they're internal improvement to how things are done in the code wise.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm really happy to hear what the community is willing for us to work on.
Okay. So this is basically you putting out a call for guys to share feedback. If you've used SMSSync before, send in your bug reports or feature requests so that they can be added onto the roadmap.
Yeah.
Okay. We have two more to wrap it up. We have Thomas, who actually worked with us in Mozambique last year for the Mozambique election. Hi, Thomas. He wants to know whether you can use some code so that SMSSync only sends codified messages to the platform. Henry? Did you go on mute again?
I have no idea what's going on. Technology. Anyway, what does he mean by codified messages and keywords?
Yes, I think that's possibly what he means. But he can correct
So
us
you,
if we're wrong.
yeah, so like you send it keywords, and based on the keywords, it gives you a response.
No, I think maybe what he's asking for is if you can send just messages that are like setting a keyword so that only messages that have that specific word can get sent to the platform. Because one of the risks we've seen is that you could set it up and then it pulls all your messages in, and you just want very specific ones.
I don't know if he tried leveraging on the keyword feature on the sync URL. So sync URLs have keywords feature. I don't know if he leveraged on that, but he should be able to put like a CSV words in there, and then SMSSync will use that to process it.
Okay. I hope you got that, Thomas. You can go and try and play around with it and then let us know how it works. And then we have another question from a guy called Ruben Mereku, who wants to know if there's a plugin for WordPress.
No, no one actually does. I haven't. Not that I'm aware of. I wouldn't say no. I would say I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
It's probably out there, but I'm not aware of it.
Okay. All right. Good to know. We have 4 more minutes, so I'll just read out. There's one more comment we have from Bugwa Njihia, and it's basically just a shout out to the fact that SMSSync does a whole lot to reduce costs, I guess. He's saying that the monthly costs are a bottleneck to adoption, hence the move to use SMSSync to reduce the TOC on services. So just another huge shout out. Henry, you're doing really, really awesome. And
that is exciting to hear.
Yeah. And to the rest of the community who've been contributing, just keep at it.
Yes.
You're doing really, really awesome stuff. That's Greg saying hi and giving a thumbs up to all of you. And that's Sebastian giving another thumbs up. And Lim was coming to say hi. All right, guys, we have about 3 more minutes left for the hangout, which means we're running out of time. Henry does need to go to sleep. It's 9:45 in Sendai, so we won't keep him much longer. Just wanted to say thank you very much for joining in and for all your amazing questions. You can just keep sending them in, and we'll try as much as possible to answer them. We'll send you links to the forums where you can keep asking questions and interacting with other users of the platform who may be able to help you out. You can always find Henry on IRC if you have any questions. Feel free to send in any bug reports or pull requests onto our GitHub issues page. And please help us with translations. The more people who are able to use it in their own language, the better. Yeah. Thank you very, very much. I don't know if Henry, Michelle, or Sebastian have any final words, but that's just what from me.
The only thing I say is thank you for using it, and thank you for all your contributions. It keeps the projects going.
Fantastic. So just thank you once again. We'll keep posting updates on any future plans we have on SMSSync, whether we're going to be hosting another hangout, when the next release is. So watch out on our blog, on our Twitter page, on Facebook. If you're on our mailing list, that would be great. Yeah. I think I'll just wrap this up. Thank you, guys. Have yourselves a fabulous morning, a fabulous evening or night, wherever you may be. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Peace.